Oh man, that's so fun. I actually filmed this whole episode without playing my guitar, and then I kind of was playing with this riff, and I'm like, oh man, this is such a fun thing to play, so I just had to play it. Now, on to the rest of the episode. Hey music fans, Ari Koinuma here. Thanks for checking out my channel. For this episode of the Power of Music show, we are going to look at 5 recent singles from the band Warning, and particularly we're going to focus on intro to the first chorus and pick out some of the rock songwriting arrangement best practices. The Warning, as you probably know, is a 3-sister rock band from Mexico, and I've been watching them just like many of you have from the first video of Enter Sandman that they were covering when they were even before teenagers. And years later now, they're in their early 20s now and really mature and accomplished rock band. And it's kind of gives me hope as for the future of rock and roll to have young women at their generation rocking out and writing great songs and touring around the world and playing live and stuff like that. So I've been really impressed by the quality of their songwriting of late. So I thought we would look at these songs and see what they're doing right from, again, songwriting and arrangement perspective. So the first song is the song Disciple, and it goes like this. Alright, so that is a fairly standard hard rock technique of starting a riff with one instrument and add other layers to it. You notice that when the drums came in, it just kind of matched the sort of groove of the riff fairly literally, in that although there are layers being added, I would say in this particular song, the sense of arrival from the starting of the main riff is probably not as dramatic or impactful as they could have been, but it's a pretty standard technique, and the riff itself is awesome and groovy and has lots of good momentum. Okay, on to the first verse.
Hey, have you heard the news that the world isn't ending? It's starting again, but all the non-believers, they keep on pretending. Sun is your enemy today. You'll have to look away from the face of your vices. Embrace them instead and welcome yourself into the new modern crisis.
Okay, so that verse is built upon the main riff. So from the intro to the main riff to the verse, we're just kind of listening to the same riff. So that's where, well, to put it on a positive side, it would sound, cohesive. But in terms of dramatic contrast, I think this song doesn't have as much of. Now, the pre-chorus obviously creates a nice contrast by kind of stopping the groove and then just focusing on the melody, and then there's a sense of silence right before kicking into the chorus melody that is in higher register. And going from lower register to higher register is a standard songwriting move, so that higher pitches tend to grab people's attention better. So saving that having some place to go as far as songwriting is a fairly standard technique.
You shall remain inside your space. 2, 3, go!
Notice at the end of that first chorus there was a break and there was a spoken word section, and that's another one of the warning sort of signature move, and in the later songs we'll see how they kind of really build upon that particular songwriting device. Okay, so the next song is called Money.
Hey, whoa, I don't wanna break this down to you. It's a cruel thing that we learn to do. 'Cause we all gotta pay for something, we all gotta count for nothing. Happiness has its price. Less is more in this business. Rapacity will be the illness that we will learn to love.
Alright, so that one has a couple of different twists, doesn't it? It starts with a quick refrain right into the first verse so that they don't drag out the intro there. And then it has a fairly simple call and response style verse, which is a very rock and roll kind of thing. The singing and guitar riff kind of coming in and out is a very sort of a signature move in rock music, although call and response is one of the oldest forms of music and songwriting / composition.
Are you worth your weight in gold? Going once, going twice, sold. It's all about that cold hard cash, hun.
Notice that again in this song they do the technique of having a sparse, quieter pre-chorus that sets up the chorus section. Rock music is built on dramatic contrast between different sections, so if you want a sense of arrival, sense of bigness, how to make it seem that way is to make the preceding section spare and quieter in contrast so that it sounds dramatically different when the next section arrives. What's really interesting about this song is that instead of forcing a chorus, they decided to have one of the more catchier riffs or melodic of the riffs in place of a singing chorus. And I think that is an unorthodox move, a gutsy move to say, hey, this is the strongest piece of music that we want to use as the refrain of this song. And a song doesn't necessarily have to have this singing chorus, but this part can serve as the central identity and sort of point of arrival in this song. And I think that's very creative. Alright, next song we're going to look at is called Choke.
I won't say goodbye. In the end, it won't matter at all. I'm sure I won't survive the fall.
So with this song, the creative thing that they did is they created a dedicated intro section. It's a fairly spare and melodic moment, but I wonder if Danny is intentionally keeping her guitar part really simple in some of these songs, because just strumming the chords here does sound fairly simplistic considering how accomplished they are as musicians, and they can play fairly advanced demanding parts too. But obviously singing and playing at the same time is a lot, so I totally understand if she wants to keep the guitar part simple there. But the guitar part, the guitar riff comes in obviously as expected, and then the band kicks in, it gets bigger. The sense of arrival and contrast, not as sort of dramatic and impactful as I think they could be, but it certainly works. Okay, moving on to the first verse.
Where your tears
Alright, so the first verse and leading into chorus, I think this one is perhaps the most simplistic of the bunch so far. You can tell that the beat is very steady. There's not a lot of riffing to speak of. It's just kind of chugging on chords and stuff like that. So this song is mostly resting on the strengths of that soaring chorus there, which is really strong. And I look forward to listening to that chorus. Nevertheless, although again, as a songwriting and arrangement part, I feel like the leading up to the first chorus, it's fairly straightforward and maybe not as creative as some of the other songs. That the band knows that the first verse was kind of on the simplistic side, so when they go to the next verse, notice that they actually don't repeat the first verse here.
Drifting out of trust, slipping down my throat into my lungs. It's cold, but this is where I'll stay. Comfortably unpaid. Wear your tears like jewelry that.
So notice it's a very strongly melodic song, and it's certainly an understandable move to say this song's heart is in the melody. You don't need a lot of busy riffing or galloping rhythm to kind of distract from the melody. But on the other hand, it does come across as a fairly straightforward song. So I am making these constructive criticism type comments about these first three songs because I feel that there are songwriting and arrangement evolution or growth between these three songs and the next two songs we're going to look at. These three songs came out on the album Error, so I don't know what their individual songwriting timeline is, but at least they came out in the single package, whereas these two songs after, I'm assuming that they were written later, and that I feel that there's a evidence of songwriting and arrangement growth and evolution in these two songs. So here's the song More.
There's something pulling me away, something criminal that I can't fight it. Won't you tell me what to say, or pull me in and keep me nice and quiet? Keep me here closer in the clear. Just kill the noise, won't you fill my void? Give it all up, but you feed my senses. You know you love it, you love it when I need you. Do you need me? Yeah, you know I love it when you feed me. Yet you leave me begging for more. I feel it slowly creeping.
I feel that this song is in a different level from the previous three songs, and some of it is the production, but just in terms of songwriting and the substance, I think is also on the next level. For example, apparently the Warning discovered one of the songwriting and arranging device that I've observed, which is the fact that when there's a pitch shifting going on, but pitch gliding like glissando on strings, you know, that opening riff that going da, right? That sort of thing is attention grabbing. Alice in Chains write a song with or riff with string bending low strings that are really catchy. There's a famous Lenny Kravitz song that has a string bending that is very catchy. One of the guitaristic effects that I think could be used more often is to incorporate bending into riffage, because when the pitch kind of glides, our ears kind of pay attention to it. And in this song, that intro has that pitch gliding here, and in the chorus riff, which I played in the intro of this video, there is a pitch glide. It's a little more subtle, but it's behind the chorus, and that's what makes this particular chorus so thick and so big. because there's this pitch gliding, bending happening behind the vocal line that just adds additional layer and richness to this chorus. And notice again, they did their sort of standard signature move of having a quieter and non-melodic pre-chorus before the chorus. But this one is even more effective in that the verse is melodic, the chorus is highly melodic, and in between they have this speaking part, right? And just creates huge contrast between those sections, which is really effective in heightening the arrival of the big chorus. Alright, finally, let's listen to a bit of Sick, their latest single. Wow, that's so awesome, isn't it? This song is a lot more mature in terms of how it starts with kick-ass riffage, and then there is that shouting part, and the full band kicks in, but it doesn't sound as one-dimensional as it used to be. There's a subtle variation between different parts of the riff, so these are not as simplistic of a riff as it used to be. They have different things going on in different parts, and then even when the verse kicks in, while it's kind of built on the main riff, it's just fragments of the main riff, not like repeating the same thing and then just putting a melody over it, which again creates both a sense of cohesion but also a sense of maturity and variety in that using the material but then breaking it up, rearranging it, changing little bits and pieces, that makes the song a lot richer, and it's a lot more, how should I say, it stands up a lot better to repeated listening because there are interesting things going on. The song is not as repetitive, even though the bass and guitar are playing the same riff, which is a standard technique. It just doesn't sound quite as one-dimensional as it used to be, just a lot richer here. And did you notice there was a bending going on in the pre-chorus section, right? Again, it's just so catchy when that happens. And even in the chorus itself too, it doesn't stay like a same kind of gesture. There are sort of slow and melodic parts, and there's faster, sort of more speech-like parts, and then it ends with them shouting the title of the song, right? So there's just a lot more contrast. There's a lot more variation going on within the song. It just keeps your interest so much better than more sort of a straightforward song that was relying on just like one element of the music to kind of carry the tune and keep your interest. So the Warning is still a very youthful young band made up of women from younger generation, growing up at a time when the rock music as a popular music is in the decline. But they're certainly learning the tricks of the trade from the giants that came before them, and really got the fundamentals of songwriting and arranging a powerful rock song down, from different vocal parts, from melodic to fast to speaking to shouting, right? And then the contrast between loud and soft, and their signature move of having a quiet moment before the big chorus kicks in, right? And then the most recent couple songs, they started incorporating bends to further hook our ears. and make them memorable and make us want to listen to these songs over and over again. I just think it's really phenomenal that they become such a mature songwriters. It's one thing to be able to learn and sing when they're young. I mean, that's impressive enough, don't get me wrong, right? But from there to become a craftspeople of quality songs and understanding that it's not just chops as far as performance, it's chops in terms of how to create memorable songs that they're totally getting right. And I'm really excited about their career and how they'll progress from here. Alright, that's all I have for you today. Thanks again for watching. I hope you learned a thing or two about what makes The Warning such a powerful rock band. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and if you have a thought or two, give me a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.